We hope you enjoy this clip. Before you watch it, please hit that subscribe button.
I have a question for both of you about Dillon Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's odd at all that when they hit a rough patch, he decides to not comment? And the reason why I ask this is, Pat Bev, who's been on our show a bunch, who's sort of like a friend of the show. Pat Bev says a lot of stuff. He's an irritant, but he always owns up to it. You know what I mean? He kind of like, he says whatever he wants to say, and he doesn't hide from saying it. And it does feel a little strange to me that, especially after game 2, that, when things have turned a little bit for them, he's somewhere, he's like nowhere to be seen.
You're really putting Trey in a compromising situation here.
It is what it is.
You told me that you are an honest person and you speak the truth.
That's all I do. That's all I know how to do. Once you pick that role and you want to be that guy where you're going to be the agitator, you have to live with, not winning every matchup. It just is what it is. Like, you're playing in the NBA, you're going to play against the best players. Like, you're not going to win every matchup. Now, you just have to be the person to own up to that and be like, you know what? He got the best of me. You might not have to say that word for word, but, when you're going to poke a bear and the bear roars, you have to deal with you have to deal with it. Like, this is what it is. And so, hopefully, they'll be able to comment more on, what's happening in the series, because there aren't those fines, if I'm not mistaken, when you skip out on those media availabilities.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna just have to deal with that. If
you're the one playing $5 Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm watching my money. I'm very careful, man.
You're gonna go in front of the cameras. A couple things here. So in my sort of new life, I see how these things become a story and then they become a bigger story. When you do what he has done the last 2 games, now all of a sudden it's a bigger story. What Julius Randle did the other day, where they win a game and he's not in the closing lineup and he bounces on, especially here in New York, when he bounces on that, it's just not a good look. It becomes part of the story. Hey, whether you believe this or not, hey, proud of that group that finished the game. I'm glad we got the win. I'll be ready for game 5. I got to be better. Boom. There's no story now.
That's it.
Dillon Brooks, hey, you got the best of me. There's no story now. So that's surprising. On the Dillon Brooks specifically, I love agitators. I do. I love Pat Bev. I love Marcus Smart. People can agitate in different ways. Jose is an agitator.
Oh,
I think
for sure.
Alex Caruso is an agitator in a different way. They're valuable. TJ McConnell. These guys, they're valuable to teams. So I think Dillon Brooks has value.
For sure.
I really believe that. And he's a guy that if you can figure out the offensive piece where it doesn't hurt your team, it doesn't have to be like a super positive, but I feel like right now the offensive piece is actually hurting the team. I want him on my team. I do. I want a guy like Dillon Brooks. I want an agitator on my team. You need him on your team. So to me, this is not like a personal thing about Dillon. I just don't like when guys don't go in front of the cameras and don't own it. Just own it.
Absolutely.
We all at some point are going to have to own it. And now you're creating a bigger story.
In all honesty, too, I must say, like, I appreciate him, the way he plays.
Yeah.
Because I remember our Memphis game when we played them at home. I wasn't sleepwalking, but like I wasn't playing well at all. And then he gets an and one, starts flexing, starts yelling. And then that's when it turns that flip for me. We're like, all right, now we're playing.
He poked the Cub.
Yeah, Cub. I'll take Cub. I'm not a bear yet, but
you're not LeBron.
No, I'm not LeBron, but then that turned me up, and I was appreciative of it. Plus, at the end of the day, it's competing.
Yes.
Like that's what it's all about. Like, there's guys that take like the trash talk and all this stuff to like, all right, this is personal now. Like, hate this person. Like, no, this is basketball. At the end of the day, like we're talking in between the lines and stuff like that because we're trying to compete. We're trying to win. Now, if you want to make it personal, then that's on you. But I just look at it as part of the game.
Here's what I would ask to you as a fan, to you as a player and a fan of the game, to all the fans out there that complain about guys like him, or complain like last year when Mad Dog said, I wish Draymond would just shut up and play, right? Don't you want competition? Don't you want to be entertained? To me, like, let's take the dirty plays out of it. And Dillon Brooks is not the only player that makes dirty plays. He's had a couple dirty plays in his career, okay? The play on Peyton last year was a dirty play, all right? don't you want to be entertained? Doesn't it make it more interesting?
So much more interesting. Like, first of all, why are you in the NBA if you don't want to compete? Like, this is why you're here. You compete at a high level. Like, your draft workouts, a lot of guys, you're going against other guys. That's how you get better. That's how you show them this is what you deserve. Like, in my workouts, I didn't have one single 1-on-0. And I did 14 workouts because I wanted to show people I can compete. I can defend. And I'm going to go against this other guy. I'm going to be better than them. Yeah. Just as simple as that.
This is what I love about Draymond. And I personally didn't have an issue with him going at the crowd, even though that definitely added to his punishment. But I
didn't have an issue either.
What I love about Draymond is he faces the cameras. He literally has a podcast that he goes on and talks about that he talks about this stuff afterwards. And I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what the sort of conversations are in terms of teammates and everything like that. But he was a clear motivating force when he got back. He obviously played great, but there was a thing where it was like he was going to use that energy to rally the team. I think some of the stuff, I completely agree with you that it's good for the game. The storylines are good for the game. I guess I'm disappointed in Dillon Brooks because I think, to your point, if he had just owned it, it would have been fine. He's just a character in the series, and now it's just kind of lame. And it's like, dude, we don't really want to hear from you anymore. If you're not going to do it when the going gets tough, then it just becomes annoying and like a little bit of a sideshow.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Actually, I just thought about it too. There was one point where they were asking him a question every other minute, and I remember they had a quote from him like on Twitter all the time. I was like, dang, like this media availability like during practice and like when they get out the shower, like they're asking him all these questions. Like all I see was Dillon Brooks quotes like everywhere, and dressing up on the bench and stuff. He was doing a lot, which is cool. But it's like you got to face it.
Which just brings me to a random mini rant here. I hate when there's a quote that breaks out on social media, and like Dame. This happened with Dame a bunch, where he's talking about why he's staying, and like it was every other week there'd be a quote about it, right? Yeah. And like the comments under it would always be something along, why does Dame keep talking about this? And it's like, because we get fucking asked about it. We have to be in front of we contractually with our CBA have to be in front of the media damn near every day. We get asked about it. So that's why we talk about it.
These same questions.
Yeah.
Like, you understand how many times I get asked, how much do you love playing with Zion? I love Zion. That's my guy. Why do you have to ask me this every other time? Like,
how much do you love playing with Zion?
I had a lot of fun in December. I told you that. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I'm telling you.
We hope you had fun with us today. We hope you laughed. We hope you had fun with us today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.